The Kardashians are revealing their new business ventures, plus Kim finally has an answer to the age-old question, what are you even famous for? What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Blake McHugh, and welcome back to another Shared News Kardashians update. Before we dive into all of the top headlines this week, make sure you hit the subscribe button and ring that bell so you never miss any of our future videos. And of course, here to break down the headlines this week with me is Morgan Wright. Morgan, how are you? I feel like it's been a little while since we've done a panel together.
It has. I'm happy to be here, ready to talk about all things Kardashian Jenner. So let's just jump right into it.
Let's do it. And honestly, there's not a lot of Kardashian Jenner. It's pretty much Kim Kardashian dominating today and a little sprinkle of Kourtney, but what's new, right? That's kind of the Kardashians for you. Okay, so let's dive into Kim K's interview with interview. So basically they're saying she bears it all, kind of literally, because if you've seen the photos at all from the cover shoot, we have got her in a jock strap with her jeans basically pulled down below her butt. And we really have got this great from below looking up angle at just how big Kim K's booty is. And, she went blonde again. We got her in some blonde hair. We got the dyed eyebrows blonde. It's giving very, USA, kind of almost Tommy Hilfiger vibes is what I'm getting. Although that's not who styled it. I'm curious, what did you think of the blonde hair, the brows, the photos? What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to keep it real. I'm not a fan of the bleached eyebrow look, but it's not just on
Me
Kim.
neither.
I'm not a fan of it on anybody. And I know a lot of people have been doing it lately. I first noticed it, I think, when Amelia Gray started doing it, and now Kim is doing it. I just don't get it. And my hair is like pitch black. So even if I wanted to bleach my eyebrows, they would not lift. So you're never going to see me with bleach hair or bleached eyebrows. When I saw this cover, it really reminded me of, the photo that broke the internet of Kim K with, I can't even remember what the publication was for. All I remember
it was
was
Paper.
Paper,
Paper
yes,
magazine.
yes. And it literally was like break the internet and here you go. It was giving a lot of the same vibes there for sure.
I agree. And you're so on point with the bleached eyebrows, because I also been seeing people on TikTok all over, because I think that there was that filter that shows you what you'd look like with bleached eyebrows, and people thought it was a good look. Then you see them doing, and then it like turns orange. I feel like if you would try, your eyebrows would go orange, Morgan.
Yeah. We're not gonna try.
We'll put the filter, but we're not doing it in real life. Okay, so
Right.
Enough about what Kim looked like. Let's kind of get into like the nitty gritty of the interview, if you will. She did talk about she's a new podcast coming out called The System. So it's basically a true crime podcast, which I feel like tracks for Kim, right? I mean, the last couple of years we've seen her dive into becoming a lawyer, representing clients who are either on death row or who have been wrongfully committed. So this really makes sense to me. She said the first season follows a case where a guy got the death sentence for a triple homicide. She says it's about how the case was handled or, quote, mishandled, and then obviously searching for the truth through it. So what do you think about Kim starting the true crime podcast? I personally am here for it. I feel like it's like totally up her alley, with especially in the direction she's trying to go in right now.
Okay, I'm gonna have to disagree with you just because I don't think everyone needs a podcast. And it's like, I know I'm preaching to the choir because I have one, but also like I went to journalism school. I studied broadcast journalism. I do entertainment reporting, and that's what my podcast is. So it's like, yes, Kim has been working towards becoming a lawyer. She's done a lot with criminal justice, but is she a broadcaster? And I know not everybody that's a broadcaster does podcasts, but I just feel like the space is so overpopulated anyways. And I just don't think we need another true crime podcast, especially for someone like Kim. And I'm going to go on a little bit of a soapbox here, but it's like, can you just leave something for us, Kim? Like, you do it all and you make so much money on it all. Leave something to us peasants that we can actually have and build an audience. I know I sound like a hater, but I just don't feel like she needs to be doing literally everything, because she just opened up I don't want to, it's not a hedge fund. I know we're going to talk about it in a little bit. So it's like,
Yeah.
she's just doing everything.
It's like an investing. Yeah, she is. So you're not going to be a listener, Morgan.
I'm going to make a bold statement and say, no, I'm not going to listen to it.
Okay. Honestly, as much as I'm like in support, I don't think that I'm going to listen to it either. I say I'm going to do a lot of things and then I just don't do them, even if I'm like, yeah, you go get them. But yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I like it for her, but I agree with you. She literally does everything. Like, is she doing too much? Like, is she just doing too much? Like, she was saying also in this interview, she studies at least 2 hours a day with a professor for, for school, for law school. Then we know she's always got all these things going on. I just don't understand how this woman balances it all. It's ridiculous.
It seems like she has her hand in literally everything, like she's on TV, she's in fashion, she's on the cover of magazines. Now she's doing stuff with investments and skincare and makeup. And now she's doing a podcast. It's like, I know that she and Kanye even have kind of dubbed themselves as the Incredibles. And it's like, maybe she really is trying to take over the world because she is doing everything. And more power to her.
And by the way,
maybe this is just coming out of a place of jealousy, that I don't have billions of dollars, but also it's like, how much more money do you need when you're doing this podcast to get advertisement money? Something about it I don't really love.
And by the way, to add to that list that you just named, she's also doing a voiceover for Paw Patrol. Some animal movie that's coming out. Yeah. So she's got it all going on. Okay, so we all know, this is sort of what I said in our intro to the Kardashian headlines. There's kind of been this mockery, really of Kim, but of the Kardashian clan in general, about getting famous for nothing, right? Everybody's always asked her, like, what are you even famous for? What are your talents? Like, how did you become famous? And so she finally says that she has an answer to this question. So she says, quote, just because we're not singing and dancing and acting on the show doesn't mean that the fame didn't come from that. She goes on to say she has millions of talents. She can cook. She can use her toes for anything. But she says her real talent is, quote, marketing and the business behind selling products and knowing what the customer wants and making it feel attainable, but also not attainable at the same time. So what do you think of this answer? I can't tell from your face if you're like, okay, good one, Kim, or like, eh.
Well, I mean, let's just be honest. All of those talents that she rattled off, yes, they are talents. Picking up things with your toes, being able to cook. Those talents should not make you a billionaire. If you are if you're an A-list pop star, if you are a backup dancer, I don't know how much backup dancers make. If you are a Hollywood actress, those types of things could make you a millionaire, maybe even potentially a billionaire. So I do agree with her that really her talent is marketing and the business behind it, because they do that better than anyone. I don't know if it was a born talent or a taught talent from Kris Jenner. Was Kim Kardashian born the marketing genius, or was she raised under a marketing genius, Kris Jenner, who taught her all the tips and tricks and how to, really get businesses rolling? So do we like the answer? I give it a 5.8 out of 10.
Okay, so you're failing it basically, because that's almost less than half.
Okay, well when we look at it that way, I'll give it a 7. I'll give it, because she's not wrong.
Okay,
I mean, that is her talent, being able to sell things and it's true, making it feel attainable but also unattainable at the same time. I feel like they do that a lot. Some people think that that's a bad thing, especially when it comes to their, unrealistic beauty standards, which I agree. It's absurd. We don't have the kind of money to get the work done that they do. But also she markets it. She markets her skincare. Is it a little bit of a gray area? I do kind of think so.
Yeah. And truthfully, I think that the Kardashians were kind of like the first influencers before influencer was a word. You know, they kind of just got famous for being themselves. It's like, I mean, it's like take, you know, what is it? Anna Sitar, who's on TikTok, who's got millions and millions. You know, people are like, well, what are you famous for? What's your talent? Well, I mean, I feel like her talent is her being herself and people just connected with her. Same with like Charli D'Amelio. Like what? She was doing dances on TikTok, but it's not like she became famous because she was a dancer or because she has the talent of being a dancer. And I feel like there's a potential that those two women could be possibly you know, a Kim, a Chloe, a somebody, you know, when they're of that age. And it would be the same question, but because when the Kardashians came up, there really wasn't this influencer influencing world where you just became famous by kind of, you know, being a nobody when you're a somebody, if that really makes sense.
Yeah, well, I also think, and you know, even from my perspective, I gravitate more towards reality stars, TikTok stars, whatever, because they feel more accessible. You know, I know that if I go into Jennifer Aniston's DMs, I'm never getting a response back. But I also know that if I go into Lindsay Hubbard from Bravo Summer House's DMs, she will answer me every single time. So it's kind of like they have this hold over you to where, yes, they are. Do you want to call them a star or a celebrity? Sure, we will, just for the sake of the argument, because they are one. But the fact that they're accessible and they're actually, you know, humanized and they interact with you, I think makes them more likable than some of these A-list, you know, huge names.
Yeah, because they're out of reach. Okay, so kind of to wrap up Kim's interview, some other takeaways that I got from it. She did say she would be interested in acting in a Marvel movie, but it would whatever she was like, whatever's pitched to her, she's really got to want it. She said people really started respecting her when she got together with Kanye, but that's kind of not new news. I feel like we've heard that a lot. You know, like she started getting invited to the Met Gala after she got together with Kanye. I think we've heard her say that a lot. And then what I thought was actually really sweet was that she was talking about Pete Davidson and said that men aren't made like him anymore, and that she was excited about what he's got coming up in his future. Not that I ever thought that they ended on bad terms, but I thought it was really sweet to just see the way that she speaks about him. I'm sure she thinks about him highly. Do you think that there's a chance that they will get back together, Morgan? I can't remember where you were on the Keith train.
Also was not a fan. I swear I don't hate Kim Kardashian. Like, really, I know it seems like I do with all of my hot takes this video. I think that they were good for the moment. You know, Kim really needed somebody lighthearted, something fun, but was it endgame? I don't know if any of us ever thought that Kim and Pete were going to walk down the aisle and have kids together. So I just feel like, you know, Kim, she's in her 40s, she's doing all these businesses, she knows what she wants, and she does not necessarily want to, I don't want to say waste your time, because it's not like that, but I think when you know, this isn't the end game for me, why entertain it any longer than it has to romantically when they can still be friends?
And I think it just dawned on me that this interview probably took place before Kim and Pete separated, and then obviously now the article's coming out. So now the way that she's talking about him, I'm thinking they were probably still together when she said that. But I think that you think that they're still on good terms. I feel like she'd still say the same thing about him now. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look at how she even answers questions about Kanye. I feel like she never will publicly say anything bad about him. So even though they're not together, I feel like the answer would have still been the same.
Yeah. And bringing up Kanye too, I think since I asked you if they would get back together, I think that like the whole Kanye of it all, if I were Pete, I would not be diving back into that pool.
Yeah. No, thank you. I think he's had enough of that.
I agree. Okay, so let's put that interview to rest. You brought up earlier Kim Kardashian also launching a private equity fund. So she's got another new company, as if we needed to add more notches to her belt, called Sky Partners with 2 Ks, because of course, right? We got Skin, we got Skims, we got Sky, we got Apparently she likes this SK, but anyways, the double K makes sense. So it'll focus on consumer media and entertainment, hospitality, luxury, digital commerce. The Wall Street Journal says it's going to make their first investment by the end of the year. And she's teaming up with Jay Sammons, I believe is how you pronounce their last name, who invested in Beats by Dre and Supreme. So obviously he has a lot of success. Truthfully, I know basically nothing about private equity funds. This is not my area of expertise. But what do you think about this business venture for her?
See, I actually feel like this is more up her alley than the podcast because I feel like she really could be hands-on with this. Whereas I don't know, I just see somebody else writing the podcast for her, somebody else doing all the research for it, and then she just sits down and, relays the message. But I feel like this, she's probably going to be a lot more hands-on. I also know nothing about private equity investing, but I do know that there was a headline that Khloe Kardashian was once dating a private equity investor. So it's like, it perks up our ears automatically to think maybe
is this the man?
Maybe even if this is the man, or maybe this collaboration is kind of what led Khloe to this mystery guy. Maybe they were all running in the same circles. Obviously, because this kind of stuff just doesn't happen overnight. I believe the story was that they met at like a dinner. So maybe they were talking about this business venture and there was a bunch of people there.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, and although we know that Khloe isn't with this man anymore, it's just interesting to speculate. And I guarantee you that Khloe's short-term boyfriend was in the mix of those dinner parties.
I bet. And even though they're not together now, if he's going to be sticking around because of Kim's new business venture, maybe, she just had her new baby, so maybe he'll be coming back into the picture.
Maybe. Anybody but Tristan.
Gosh, please. Any guesses or ideas on what Kim would invest in?
Ooh, I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, any of her, I think, interests, skincare, fashion, beauty, all those types of things. I'm wondering if maybe Kim Kardashian will make a Shark Tank appearance. Wouldn't that be something?
Ooh, that would be a great crossover.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. Because we've had Bethany Frankel before. So, it's not totally out of the realm of possibility.
Also, Good Americans co-founder Emma Green, who works hand in hand with Khloe, was also a guest investor. So you heard it here first. Bold prediction, Kim K will be on Shark Tank.
And even going off of that Shark Tank idea, Morgan, I feel like also, the Kardashians, obviously Kim's one talent is her marketing and her understanding of the business side of things, right? Like, I feel like having any type of Kardashian backing would instantly make your company successful.
I mean, everything they touch turns to gold, except for the show Cocktails with Khloe and Kris Jenner's failed daytime talk show. Those are the one things that did not go over well.
Actually, I didn't have this on my headlines, but can we talk about that for a second since you're bringing up Cocktails with Khloe? Why did that all of a sudden just pop up on my Hulu and I've literally never ever heard about it before? And have you watched it?
No, I have not watched it. I knew it was shot years ago before the pandemic. I want to say 2016-ish. And it was
really?
Just her sitting around a table with celebrities drinking cocktails, and it was kind of like an interview show, but it did not take off. Maybe if she tried again in today's day and age, it would, but I don't think I would put my money on it.
I'm looking it up. Yes, 2016, you're 100% accurate. 2.2 out of 10 stars for the IMDb rating on it. And it describes it as she's reinventing the late night talk show by inviting celebrity guests into her kitchen for a lively dinner party where engaging and relevant conversations are paired with cooking, party games, and of course, cocktails. Wow. I'm looking at who she had. So bizarre. I feel like I've been seeing that recently of people just like, what the heck? Where did this come from? All right. Well, let's put Kim to rest. I think we've talked enough about her business ventures and everything else she's got going on in her life. Let's talk about Kourtney Kardashian now. Starting a new business venture also. She's just teased her new company called Lemme. Lemme, for people who maybe haven't seen it yet, on Instagram. She really didn't give much away about it from the photo that she posted. But here's what we do know. She's partnering with Simon Huck for this. Obviously, they're like longtime friends. According to The Sun, documents that they obtained say the company will include the production of bags, purses, totes, wallets, clutches, clothing. Categories in the trademark also include games, toys, and sporting goods. So there's a lot of categories in this brand. Where's your head at with this?
I think the same place as yours, kind of all over the place. I don't think it doesn't have a clear marketing strategy, at least what's being reported by The Sun. It's one thing to have bags, purses, wallets, clothes, but then sporting goods, like they just don't toys, kids games, like I'm wondering if, her other business, Poosh, is just the lifestyle brand, right? What we eat in a day, how to take care of your skin, how to detox, all this other stuff. I'm wondering if this is just an e-commerce lifestyle brand, where it's like, this is what I use on my day to day for myself, for my kids, for whatever. I don't know that it's great. I'm obviously not a business person. I don't have any of my own businesses, but it seems to a consumer a little bit confusing.
Yeah, there's no clear direction here. And then it also doesn't help that we don't actually know anything. Like, these are from obviously the documents, and documents are so rigid that they kind of almost, I feel like, are overarching. And then when you actually get to what the brand is or what the product is, it's usually much more less all over the board. You get kind of a better vision. But I gotta say, I actually do like the name. So I feel like it's like, let me have it, or like, let me get this, or like, I kind of feel like it's personal. I really like it. Do you?
It's better than Poosh. We'll just say that.
Okay, better than Poosh. Or it could have been like, gimme this.
Yes, true. I like both. I like Lemme, I think. Yeah. Is it Lemme?
For some reason when I say Lemme, like a standalone on its own versus like, let me get this, like in a full sentence, it sounds weird. Like I'm saying like lemon, but like Lemme.
I agree. You have to use it in a full sentence.
You do have to use it in a full sentence. But here's the thing. I am happy for Kourtney, because I feel like for the longest time we've seen on the Kardashians, like everybody making fun of her about how she doesn't have a business or a brand or this or that. And all she said is she wants to focus on being a mother. And I feel like we saw her obviously branch out with Poosh, and now whatever Lemme is. I'm glad to see her kind of branching out a little bit more, adding more to her resume.
Yeah, we love to see Kourtney. She's thriving. She's having her moment. And whatever Kourtney wants to do, I am in support of it. I'm just not going to be buying the sporting gear or the toys.
What about the games?
Yeah, probably not the games, but if she's got some cute clutches, like she said, I'm in. Wallets, I can always use another wallet.
Okay. Well, we'll be waiting. You can go on her website and subscribe to be notified, Morgan, if you want to.
Okay.
And by the way, you guys, season 2 of The Kardashians on Hulu airs September 22nd. So I feel like only a couple of weeks away. The countdown is on. Let us know in the comment section below. Is Kim doing too much? Did we like her answer of what her talents are? What do you think of Kourtney Kardashian's new line? Does she need to streamline it? What's she gonna have? We want to know all of your thoughts. So drop those down below. But of course, before you do that, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and ring that bell so you never miss any of our future videos. I'm your host, Blakely McHugh, with Morgan Wright. You can see our Instagram handles on the screen. Drop by and give us a follow and say hello, and we'll see you next time.